Hi, I'm Brianna Colette, and welcome to another episode of Maury IRL in real life. Today, we're going to be going backstage and behind the scenes of the infamous Paternity shows with senior producer Asia Link, associate producer Mariah Bailey, and executive producer Paul Fallhaber. So Paul, today is all about paternity. I want to know, how did the concept of a paternity test come about? Like, who started this?
You know what? 21 years ago, actually, it was Sally Jesse Raphael before us. And the executive producer of the Maury Show at the time was a woman named Amy Rosenblum. She used to work for Sally. So when we relaunched the Maury Show, she brought that over to the Maury Show. So it was very interesting. I had never done that before. Sally had done a couple of those before, so it wasn't a brand new concept, but obviously it's something that we took to another level. You know, I remember the first day we did our first paternity test, and we both thought we were getting fired.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, we thought we were getting fired. We're like,
Why?
Maury's gonna kill us. But he loved it, you know, and he immediately saw the value in it. But he also saw how emotionally connected both sides of these stories were.
And you're not the father.
Doesn't matter. I still love you.
Now, rumor has it Maury doesn't know the results, right?
Maury does not know the results until he opens up the envelope. Yeah.
So he's just as shocked as everybody else.
Well, you know what? And that also goes back to 21 years ago, where we were briefing him on the show, and we were about to tell him the result, and it was his idea.
Oh, wow.
Actually, he said, whoa, wait, I don't want to know. He says, I want to take that journey with the viewer at home. So from day one, it was his idea not to know, so he wouldn't, you know, skew questions a certain way, knowing the answers.
Okay, and speaking of questions, the number one question is, are these stories real, guys?
Yes.
How
they are
real?
So
Tell
real.
me. Tell me.
Every single time I tell somebody that I work on the Maury Show, that is the first question that they ask. These are people's like real lives. This is like the stuff that they're dealing with every single day, and it's gotten to the point where like they can't take it anymore, and they need the truth. They need answers.
Right. Now, Paul, I know Maury has a favorite paternity show. Can you tell me about that?
You know what? He's got a couple of them, and I mean, I don't know if it's his favorite, probably the most memorable.
The most memorable. I heard there's some twins or something
we had
involved.
we had a couple cases of fraternal twins where the man was the father of one twin and was not the father of another, which is like a million and one shot. So he was shocked. We were all shocked.
I'm so sorry. So, Asia, what makes a good paternity story?
I love to look for something different, like an event, like a story.
Okay.
You know, something that stands out when I'm like, wow, you know, where the guy may say, oh, you know, it was right around the time that she got pregnant, and I was on Facebook, and you know, I saw, you know, a post, you know, that this guy was saying, other guy was saying he was the father, and I have the post and I could show it to you, because those are like, oh my God, really? It gives you reason to say, wow, maybe he's not the father. I like to not be sure.
You are not!
I wait to hear the passion. I want to hear a woman who needs this, or a man who needs this. I was speaking to a woman last week, and she had, you know, a one-night stand with this guy.
Okay.
And it's been 4 years now. She had this son, but the guy gave her a different name, a different age, a different number, different everything. His name was Cornbread. She's like, you know, it's really hard finding the cornbread out here. Then she went to abandoned houses. She went to this, and she just kept hitting a roadblock. Until about 2 months ago, she went to the basketball court. He was playing basketball. And so she's like, you have a son that has been here. And it's just like, I'm like, this is it.
Asia, what can the guests expect when they're brought onto the show?
Well, first and foremost, the minute that they walk through our doors, they become our family. And we treat them like family. You know, I've been here for a long time, a lot of years. I want these people to feel comfortable when they come. I mean, it's our home, and I want them to feel like it's their home too. We prep them, you know, we read them all of their questions so they feel comfortable.
So they kind of know how everything's gonna go.
We walk them through the whole thing every step of the way, like from the minute we get on the phone with them until the minute that we're here.
What are the benefits of telling your story on Maury?
Number one, a DNA test is expensive.
Yes, that's true.
And usually in these situations of paternity, somebody's being called a liar. You know, and especially in their small town, This is their day in court. This is their day, that they can say, hey, I didn't do this. I didn't cheat. I'm not, I'm not easy. I haven't been all around town like the guy is saying. Like it's their day in the sun,
Half the time, it's like it's not even coming out of the guy's mouth. It's coming from everybody else's mouth.
A neighbor, a family member.
Exactly. Like, tons of women have said to me, I even walk down the street and people are whispering or saying, oh, there goes so-and-so. She doesn't know who the father of her baby is. And it's like, it's terrible. And they want to clear their name.
So, Asia, do the mother and father have to be present for the DNA results?
For the most part, yes. But there are other types of shows.
Yeah, we do have situations where, unfortunately, maybe the father has passed away.
Oh, wow.
And the mother wants to know, and a lot of times it's the deceased family who wants to find out if their deceased son fathered a child, that they didn't know about.
And is that possible to find that out once the person's passed away?
Absolutely.
How does that happen?
It's called a grandparentage test. We will collect DNA samples from the deceased person's mother and father, and then what they do is they reconstruct the DNA sequence to give you a probability that that son, or that son was the father. What's nice is when you do get a positive result, it's nice that the mother of the deceased has like a living, breathing piece of their child
and now she's
walking
got a
around on the earth.
What happens to the guests after the show? Do you guys follow up with them and see what's going on?
We always follow up with them.
Oh, that's
always.
so refreshing.
And we have an aftercare specialist as well who follows up with every single guest. Right after they walk off stage, he speaks to them and makes sure that they're okay. And if they're not okay, then we take, the steps further. But once they're home, he always calls them to follow up and see how they're doing. If they need counseling, then he can help them with that.
2 years ago, we started going back and tracking down these babies. They're grown now, they're 18, 19, 20, and we actually featured a bunch of people who came back, and to hear the stories about these kids now that are 18, 19, and what it meant to them to have their father in their life because of what we did is beyond gratifying, and it's one of the things that Maury loves the most. If you sat here and talked to him about it, he'd get emotional too, because there's a lot of critics out there. You know what? But when you look at the long-term, effects of what we do when we do this, it really works out really well.
My dad means the world to me. He's been there for as long as I could remember.
If anybody is watching that is one of those kids that was on our show all those years ago, or if you know somebody that is, please contact us. We would love to hear how you're doing today.
Fantastic. I'm Brianna Collette, and remember, keep it real.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Now, if you want to see more Maury content, click here. And be sure to subscribe to be the first to know about new videos.